It's the Solarvan Sci-fi podcast.
Hello, this is episode 171 of the Solar Y. The Solar One Sci-fi podcast. I'm Michael Ball, if I can actually talk properly. I'm joined once again by my co-host, faithful host that is Martin Fowler. Hello, Martin.
Faithful co-host.
Yeah, well, you're always
Sound
here.
like a pet. Sounds like a pet.
Okay, so if you're a pet, what type of pet are you? Are you a dog? Are you a pussy? What?
I'm a hamster. Stuck in the endless wheel of time of running on it every night.
Oh, isn't that life though? Aren't we all like hamsters on wheels, just travelling through our lives, just going day to day in the eternal cycle
Going
of
nowhere.
life? No, okay. It's a bit too deep and philosophical for a
is.
for a Wednesday when we're recording
And
this.
next week's show, we'll be covering the topic hamsters.
I don't think a hamster's ever featured in a sci-fi movie I can think of. They did. In V, they bit their heads off and ate them.
Oh, they're all going to be outside your house tomorrow, the hamster brigade.
She'd get the hamster and he'd be
No,
going,
that was a guinea pig.
Oh, was it?
That was a guinea pig. Yeah,
it's
it was a bloody big hamster, that one then.
It was close enough, wasn't it? I don't know the difference between hamsters and guinea pigs. I've never been a fan of small furry animals for pets. I don't know why. After having mice in the old house, which used to come through occasionally, I'm really not a big fan of mice.
I had an hamster as a kid. My stepmother bought me a hamster.
Oh yeah.
I think to annoy my parents, and I got a metal cage for it. And on the night, I remember my stepdad used to go ballistic. 2 o'clock in the morning, hamster, you could hear it cage shaking.
Yeah.
And I remember he put it 2 floors down in the front room, and all night I could hear him shouting and bawling because hamster wouldn't stop. You could hear it no matter where you put this cage. He put it in. It went in wet cupboards, went in, and you can still hear it from inside there. Just ran for hours.
No. They don't actually live that long either, do they? They're about what,
No.
3 or 4 years or something.
Mine did a runner. I don't know where it is. It did a runner.
Dear, what do you do to it?
I cleaned its cage out and it got out and it disappeared. I thought the dog ate it, but I assume it somewhere out there now on its own, trying to find its way back home, but I moved. So poor hamster.
Well, by the way, this is a new show. This is called the Harry the Hamster podcast. This is episode 1. So we're obviously going to sort of like different new dynamic from hamsters. No, not very
Hamsters.
good. Hamsters. So how are you apart from hamster talk? You right?
I'm good. It's bloody freezing.
I know it is. It's
I did
really
Monday morning, 9 o'clock. It said it was just so bloody depressing. I mean, it's been quite nice out. It's been nice out there today.
Yeah.
But it's freezing. Absolutely freezing.
My watch says 4 degrees, although it never shows up on this thing, which is really annoying. But it's 4 degrees outside. It's bloody freezing. And I don't do this. I mean, do you prefer it to be sort of like wetter but milder, or colder and drier and brighter?
I prefer it when it's bright and it's milder.
Yeah, but you never get that this time of year, do you? That's the problem. That's what we all prefer, but... Anyway, Now listen, we are on a tight schedule tonight, so we're going to make a slightly more faster show than normal. So before we go into our focus, any news? I've got a couple of bits to talk to you about, but have you got anything your end first?
That new Marvel series starts today. Echo, I think we're back on track.
Are you sure?
It's a much darker series, yeah. If they're going where I think they're going, I'm quite happy about that.
Okay, so
I saw the Alien
is it?
trailer, Alien Romulus, which was...
Yeah, I saw something online the other day. It looked to me like it was a fan film. It didn't look like it was real. It
was on a reputable YouTube review channel.
I saw it as a recommendation when I was out, and I didn't actually watch it properly. So what do you think of the... I mean, I saw it, but I don't know...
It reminded me, there were a lot of people in pain and suffering and scared, and we saw the spider thing, like bits of it, and it's somewhere it were growing in somebody, and they are not alone on this ship. I assume we're just getting like Aliens 1.
Well,
the first one.
It's set in between Alien and Aliens, apparently. I don't think it's got any links to the Prometheus the two prequel things that they had. I don't think that's, which is a shame. I mean, we did review. No, we haven't. Have we actually reviewed Prometheus? We haven't done that.
No,
Do you
I
want to
don't
do that?
think so.
Do you want to do that next week?
Yeah.
Prometheus. I would like to do that because I'm a
I
big fan
can't
of the
stand
Alien
the
film.
second film. I cannot stand that. I turned it off. Yeah, I've never seen full film. I turned it off halfway
What?
through the second one.
Why?
Because I figured out David was going to destroy the colony of the engineers, and he was the one that created the alien.
Oh,
I figured it all out, man. I got
but
to
I know,
halfway
but
through,
Oh,
and I
Martin.
figured it out, and I thought,
No.
and I were right, and it panned at cinema.
You don't
and
know though. You've never seen it though. Oh,
Yeah,
you
but I
got
were
to see the
right.
whole
I
film.
were right. I sat through half of it, and I was bored shitless. I like the
Really?
first one. I
I
think the
quite like
first
that.
one's brilliant.
I like Prometheus. I actually didn't mind the couple. There's what's the second one called? Alien? Is it Covenant?
Covenant, yeah.
Yeah.
Covenant, yeah.
Um,
yeah.
It's better than Alien 3.
Yeah, we don't talk about that on this channel. You couldn't help yourself, could you? You had to bring it up. Yeah, I'm telling you, you had to bring it up. You just couldn't help yourself, could you? You
I
couldn't
love it.
leave it alone.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So Prometheus next week. So that's interesting, and obviously we've got the separate TV series coming as well this year, which apparently
What's that about then?
I don't
TV
know.
series?
There's a new series as well. I don't know much about it. I don't think it's tied into either the Prometheus original or the sequel, or Covenant, or Romulus, or I don't know. There's something coming along this year, and I heard about it ages ago, and I need to double check it actually. But I will certainly be checking that out.
I saw the Blade trailer.
Oh yeah, did you like? Because I've never really been into the Blade stuff. What did you think of it?
They've got this other actor. It wasn't bad. It was interesting, but it's not out till 2025. I thought, well, what's the bloody point in that?
Well, technically, it's only a year away. I mean, it sounds like a long way away.
Yeah, true. So it did. I have to say, I wasn't. It looked interesting. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm open-minded about that. And it's the final episode this week of For All Mankind, which I have to say, I'm up to episode 7. I've been watching them in blocks of 3.
I've not seen it.
I've been watching them in blocks of 3, and I'm quite impressed so far.
All right, okay.
I have to say, I've
Okay,
enjoyed this series.
Once it's done, I'll watch them all, and we'll do a review of season 4, series 4.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Other news I've heard, apparently Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson are not going to be potentially filming any more Doctor Who after their second season together, which, like I said, it's early days, that's open to interpretation, so it might just be that the companion's going. I know that the actor, also, Ncuti, also wants to go back to theatre, so we'll have to see about that. I'm not that bothered at this early stage because I don't really know him as a doctor either, so let's see what happens about that. Trek and Star Wars have both got news this week, some quite big news potentially. First of all, apparently Patrick Stewart has read a script where potentially they could be making a TV movie, Star Trek The Next Generation sequel movie, which I think is going to happen now. From what I understand, Star Trek now, they're going to go into a new route of not proper theatrical movies, but TV movies. They're literally just starting to film the Section 31, first one with Michelle Yeoh to be shown at the end of this year, which again, I don't mind actually. I mean, do you think that TV movies for Star Trek, which aren't the mega bucks but still look relatively impressive, is a direction to go?
Well, Star Trek's a franchise big enough to go to the cinema, isn't it? But it depends which Star Trek, you know what I mean? So, I mean, Next Gen, you get it, it went to the cinema. Could Deep Space Nine have pulled the movie off? I think so.
Definitely.
Voyager, I don't know. But yeah, TV movies, if they're written right, they put the budget in, yeah. I mean, Stargate movies worked, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
The movie I want, well, they were going to do it under the other guy, is it Kurtzman?
Alex Kurtzman.
I want Khan's life story.
Was that Kurtzman or wasn't that the guy that did Star Trek 2? I know what's the guy that did Star Trek 2? I can't think of his name. Nicholas Meyer. Wasn't he involved with it at some point? Nick Meyer.
But the Kurtzman, when they brought Discovery back, it was on the board, and I really would like to see the rise of Khan on Earth.
Well, I mean, like I said,
in a 3-part movie serial.
wouldn't mind
I
seeing.
would love to see that.
I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I really want Kurtzman gone. I want Terry Matalas to run the entire Star Trek franchise, like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are doing the Star Wars franchise, and they know what they're
Yep.
doing. Terry Matalas is their version of the Star Wars with Jon Favreau, so yeah, I don't know.
Star Trek Legends.
Well, I think
It's
that,
all
I don't
right
know.
bringing
That's
them
going to
all
happen.
back.
But Patrick Stewart
Yeah.
coming back now, he's very, very old. He's 83. I think it went out on a high with the end of Picard.
I
I don't
agree.
know whether he should keep coming back now. I mean, he's very old. I mean, he wouldn't be able to. He would need a lot of ensemble group again because it's going to be really tough to have an 83-year-old. Doing. I mean, I know he's not exactly an action hero, but he's going to have to be, in a certain way.
Yeah.
So,
I think we got us bye-bye with that. Let's move on. Star Trek Legends. They can guest appear in the
Make it
other
like a guest
episode.
appearance. Yeah, that's what I think as well.
And just leave it at that. They could end up bringing everybody back, and it's going to get like, oh, well, come on.
Well, somebody.
I want new stuff, man. I want new stuff now.
Jay,
I want nostalgia. I'm up to way where I want new stuff.
Jay on Sidetrack said apparently the one idea is that they're going to do this Picard TV movie, but it's also like a backdoor pilot for the Star Trek Legacy series where you're going to have Picard. It's in the same era, and you'll see the Enterprise G and stuff, and you'll see Jerry Ryan as Seven and everybody else. And then what they'll do is after that will be the catalyst for the Star Trek Legacy series. I think it's positive. I think it's positive.
Maybe the Picard movie could be like a pilot opener.
That's what I'm saying. It's a pilot opening for Legacy. This is what I've heard.
That's good.
Which makes
I'm
sense.
up for that.
And so I consider that actually good news.
I'm up for that.
Star Wars. Apparently, the Mandalorian season 4 is not going to be a season 4. It's going to be a movie of some sort. The Mandalorian and Grogu. I know they were going to do that long term. After they were doing some more, they were going to have a big sort of thing with Thrawn and everybody else. Opinions?
Well, I thought they're still going down that path, aren't we? Getting like the Avengers Star Wars movie where they all team up.
I think that's eventually going to happen. But now, rather than having a Mandalorian season 4, they're going to have a movie before that with just the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Is it a TV movie?
I think it's a proper full movie. I think it's a theatrical movie.
Right,
Oh, you've not heard about that? That's only announced yesterday.
I have heard, yeah. I'd go see that.
I would too. I would do it.
Yeah.
I mean, most people do like the Mandalorian, even though the season 3 was the weakest. So, yeah.
But the cinematography in Mandalorian is very cinema.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I could see that at cinema, not a problem.
Oh no, I mean you could put on the Mandalorian in the cinema and it's a movie. I mean I've always said this that I know that like Book of Boba Fett 1 or 2 episodes looked a bit off, and there is something missing from the TV. Like when you see Tatooine, when you see Tatooine in the movies, it does look really epic. When you see Tatooine in the TV shows, there's a little bit less of that kind of cinematic feel. There's a bit of a budgetary constraint, which they can't help it. They can't throw CGI creatures in every single scene and stuff like that. But it still looks good. I would still watch any of that in the cinema if it was open and it was actually available. So any other news? Like I said, we are rushing a bit today, which is why I'm expediting our conversation a bit.
What did you say?
I was saying I'm rushing through it a bit because we've got a short term. So before we go into any other news? Sorry, any other news?
No, I think that's everything. That's everything I've seen this week, and what you've seen. Not bothered about the Doctor Who stuff. He leaves. Couldn't care less at the moment. More interested. I want Star Trek Legends, and I'll go see the Mando at the cinema. That's it for me. I'm interested in this alien thing that's going on.
Me too. Yeah. Aliens are interesting.
I'm more peaked in other directions at the moment, but wait till Doctor Who comes out, then I will give my judgment.
Okay, fair enough, matey. Right, on that note, let's go into our focus of the week. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
All right, so Martin, this is a film that you told me about, and now last week you very kindly did your homework for me, and it's my turn because you did Interstellar. I also did my homework as well, and I reviewed a movie that you told me about, which was called Soldier. Now, I'd never heard of this movie, and I Surprised I haven't heard about it because it's got quite a lot of people in it. It stars Kurt Russell. It's got Jason Scott Lee. It's got Jason Isaacs. It's got Connie Nelson. It's got Sean Pertwee and Gary Busey. Busey. The film tells the story of a highly skilled and emotionally distant soldier who is left for dead, befriends a group of refugees, and faces his former superiors who are determined to eliminate him. So, Martin, tell me how you heard about this. What is it you liked about it? Let's proceed from there.
I find Soldier intriguing as a film.
Okay.
I think it's some of the best acting Kurt Russell ever did.
But he didn't say much in the movie, though, did he?
Yeah, I know that's where that's where I'm going from. Right, he didn't have to say anything, did he? He pulled these amazing facial expressions.
Yeah, there was some awesome facial expressions.
You know, and I love the film when you saw him as a kid and you took him from his parents and trained him as these soldiers.
Yeah.
On these military campaigns all over the galaxy, and then they got in the synthetic ones and they just basically treated them like crap. That arrogant general who pissed himself in film towards the end when it all went wrong, treated them as like rubbish. Even Gary Busey's commander, he didn't really stick up for him, did he? You know, he got defeated and he got dumped on that crap planet with metal, and he met them people and they turn up and he takes them all out, and he meets that family, and her husband gets killed because he shows him sympathy and how to be. Basically, he's learning to be a human again. Feelings are coming into him. It's a very deep movie, and you know, obviously he gets it off with her at the end of the film after he dies, and they've got that paradise planet. But all in all, this is a fantastic film, and it is meant to be set rumouredly within the Blade Runner universe.
You're saying that to me, yeah. I didn't see the connection myself, but I can see there could be. You know, I mean, you know, it's one of those things.
Probably pre-Blade Runner, the synthetics were just coming out at the time, the artificial. We didn't get a time period as to when it was set, did we? No, I don't think so.
But was it Blade Runner? In Blade Runner, because it was set in like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
In that version, we had already gone out to the stars. We were already on other planets, weren't we?
Yeah.
So that's why you're saying it's partly the link because of that sort of same.
Well, it's because in the junkyard there's a spinner.
That's right. I remember you saying that to me when you talked about it the other
and that's when everybody started putting that. There's a couple of films. Well, the same Alien franchise is tied up to it now, but Outland is another film that's meant to be within that.
Is that the one with Sean Connery? That's the one with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Now that's another one I want to review with you. We'll do that coming up soon.
Something else. We'll do
Outland,
that in a couple of weeks. Yep.
And another one I want to do is one with Kurt Russell. No, not Kurt Russell. Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett.
Saturn.
I want to do that one. I like that one.
That with the insane robot. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that one.
Yeah,
and that's another good one. Yeah. So we're lining up our movies, aren't we? At least.
Well, let's next week.
Prometheus.
Let's do Prometheus next week, and week after we'll do Saturn.
Yeah, and then we can do Outland as well. Yeah, that's right. Brilliant. Okay, I know we're talking ahead, but we're just sort of thinking as we're talking. So you told me from when you mentioned this movie that this movie didn't do too well. It had a negative.
It cost $80 million to make.
Okay.
And they never released it at the cinema. It went straight to video.
It says 60 million here, but I mean, I'm
right,
sorry.
Well, all right.
No. Well, I was just saying. Let me say. It said the film was a box office bomb, grossing 40 million worldwide against a production budget of 60 million. Despite the financial failure, the film has now become a cult film.
Yes, it has.
So obviously, you, like I said, this is what I like about doing the show with you. That sometimes you come across stuff that I've not heard about, and it's
it was the most expensive film that went straight to video in history.
That's right. Okay.
And that's why it fascinates me, because when I rented that out, I thought, bloody hell, this is not like one of your Empire films from 80s, them cheap, nasty films they used to make for home video. This thing were like epic. This film is epic in its scale. It's massive, and a lot of people haven't seen it. But It was one of the on home video. Everybody was just renting it. It was massive on home video. That
How
film.
come I never heard of it then? I'm surprised I wasn't aware of this one.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it did get a lot of. I mean, when it first got released, it got a lot of advertising, and it's just one of them films. It's a set audience.
Exactly.
Why have you got to pay for that on your head?
Because I just found it for Christmas. It was underneath my desk. I just
Okay.
thought I'll put it on. No, I'll take it off. But what I'm saying.
Leave it on. Leave it on.
All right, I'll
leave
put
it
it
on.
on.
I don't mind.
Why
Leave it
not?
on.
Hey, let's get. I mean, I know Christmas is done. I don't know why I've got this hat on, but I'll keep it on. But I did like the movie. I mean, it was interesting that somebody said that Kurt Russell had the least amount of words he's ever said in a movie.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that because it was not his. It was just the perspective of the movie of this programmed individual who spent his whole life being literally just taught to be a warrior, having no aspects of individuality in many ways. He was just literally just like a automaton almost, because he did all he knew was his training and to do his mission and to get the job done. And I thought that was quite an interesting actual aspect actually that was done. I mean, I'm a big Kurt Russell fan. Like I said, I'm watching at the moment with the Monarch Legacy of Monsters, the kind of thing, which is finishing this week. And it's great because his son, his real life son, is in that as well, which I think is great. I didn't know that his son...
Is Monarch any good?
It's one person compared it to the Tripods, where the Tripods was a good series, but you never bloody well see the Tripods. You don't see that much of the monsters of Godzilla. So it's more about the characters, about what they're doing. I like it. You might not. I don't know. I'll tell you when the last episode's done, but I quite like it.
I've not jumped on it. I keep saying to myself I might give that a look, but I've not jumped on it at all. I don't know. I thought I would have done, but I've just not bothered. So I don't know why. I found that a bit odd in myself, not watching it. But
well, I think it's if you've got a sort of lull. Don't forget, we haven't got a ton coming up for a while. Once you've done For All Mankind, which I will also check out as well during the next month or two. Think about it. Give it a couple of episodes. If you just think, but the one thing which I know it sounds trivial, but I love the opening titles. The opening titles of that show are really good, and the music for the titles.
Okay.
I love it. It's my favourite opening titles I've seen in ages. It's just a really clever thing to split between 2015 and 1953, and it's the two separate things. I won't say too much, but it's just a great opening title. Not that it's a big deal, but I just like that.
Oh, okay then.
So let's go back to obviously this film. So looking at some other information, it says here, following what you said, it says Soldier was written by David Peoples, who co-wrote the script for the 1982 film Blade Runner. He considers Soldier to be a spin-off sidequel, spiritual successor to Blade Runner, seeing both films as existing in a shared fictional universe, which you've already said. The film obligatory refers to the various elements of stories written by Philip K. Dick, who wrote the 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, on which Blade Runner is based, or film adaptations thereof. A spinner from Blade Runner, which you've already said, can be seen in the wreckage on the junk planet in the film, and Russell's character is shown to have fought in the battles referred to in Roy Batty's Rutger Hauer dying monologue as the Soldier of Orion and I can't pronounce that word, Tinhauser Gate. So going back to what you're saying, absolutely, it's got a links. Again, it's referred to as a, what did they say it was called again? Sidequel, not a sequel, not a prequel, but it's indicates that it's actually connected to the same universe. Which, if that's the case, that's fascinating, because I always like things where they run concurrently. They're but a different aspect of the actual same universe, which is cool. So yeah, this is a good film.
I mean the character. I like the guy that played the general. He was just a fanatic. But when it came down to it, there was that scene where he pissed himself on ship. You know, the general, which I couldn't stop laughing because he created the entire situation. And they were going to destroy the planet, and I just loved it when they all got the comeuppance and and all them colonists and them soldiers, they all went up to them paradise planets.
Was that
You know.
Jason? Wasn't that Jason Isaacs who played he played the colonel, didn't he?
He played, what are you, Colonel? Gary Busey played Kurt Russell's commanding officer, didn't he?
Yeah. That's right. Gary,
But
what's your
that
right as Gary
Colonel or
Busey, yeah.
General, he turned up with the new toys, and they were all. It was just so wrong how they were all treated after everything they'd done.
Yeah.
It was like they're the past, and you do get the impact. That's what I mean. It's an interesting film, is this? Because, I mean, there ain't much conversation in it from the main character, but it's like you're seeing the whole thing through how he feels. Yeah, I mean, they just dump him like a piece of rubbish, and then they turn up later on and think there's all these like baddies there and the enemy. It's not just some colonists trying to survive, but that officer, he turns it into something far worse than what it is. And then they were going to nuke the planet.
Yeah.
And then it all ends. I mean, he took them all out, all these super soldiers, and I love that. I like the scene with the kid with the snake, and he's banging.
Oh,
the
that's
children.
right. Yeah. Because the
Yeah.
snake, they got this problem. It keeps killing people because it gets poisonous,
Yeah.
whatever. That was quite interesting.
But he starts to feel his human emotions start coming to the surface because he
it
starts
reminds me a bit-
interacting with normal people,
It does
and he
remind
can't
me of.
handle it.
I mean, that reminds me of quite a familiar trait in science fiction where you have.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Star Trekism where you've got a character who's alien. I know he's not alien, but he's not a normal human. And as the film
It's
progresses,
no emotion,
he learns
it's
about emotion. So a bit of a Vulcan reference, or even like Odo from DS9. It slightly reminds me of that. You know, that sort of, and that's a very familiar
Yeah.
trait in science fiction where you have a character who's
I
basically.
mean, don't get me wrong, the film is no different to any sort of story. It's just how it's set up. I found quite intriguing how the film is set up. He's not offering like some new big twists to it or something new. It's just. I like the film. I like how it finishes. You get a positive ending, and I just think it's a nice 2-hour journey movie. I think it's great, and
Yeah.
I really think Kurt Russell, his acting in that was superb. He really showed what he could do. He didn't have to talk. He showed it through his facial expressions. Because you get to see this guy from when he was a child.
Yes, you see the whole thing, and you see him
So
like
you're growing up with him,
age,
yeah.
age 16, and then you see and they're really, really tough.
Yeah.
And they're very expendable because in the film, an early scene where we see Kurt Russell where he's got to climb up a rope or something.
Yeah.
And then they also there's another guy who climbs because obviously there's a better model kind of thing.
Yeah,
They're competing against each other,
other.
and that's another aspect I thought was interesting. That him, with all his training, because of upgrades, whatever it was, he was quickly becoming redundant. So everything he's been trained for,
that is.
and
yeah,
that was put, and then he has the antagonizer, the character who is more superior, who he gets an eye, he damages his eye or something.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And then later on,
But that sets it off then between them both, doesn't
and
it?
also because
But-
then he can't be as elite anymore because he's got defective vision and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
like that. That was quite
yeah.
clever.
But the thing is with that is that the one thing Kurt Russell has over all them new ones is experience, because he might have been defeated in that gym thing when they tested him out, but when it got down to an actual war on that planet, he used every bit of training, every trick he
And all
knew,
the
and he
experience he learned,
defeated all of them. He defeated all of them because of his experience.
Yeah.
And that made, in the end, he was the superior one soldier. Brilliant film.
Yeah, it's a shame that, like I said, to be honest with you, I do need to see it again. I thought visually it looked good. I mean, the exterior ship scenes, the planet looks interesting. Yeah. Was it filmed in the UK? Because obviously it had Sean Pertwee, who's a British actor. I wonder whether it was filmed, whether it was actually filmed.
It was filmed in early 90s, I think.
No, but where, not when. And it's filmed. If it was
I
filmed.
don't know. I don't know. It does look like it could have been filmed over there, actually.
I've not seen.
There's that sort of feeling to it, isn't there?
Yeah, you know, like you get a lot of American films that actually filmed in. Where's that film place they filmed the original Star Wars films in the UK?
Elstree.
Yeah, that's it. Something like
Pinewood.
that. Yeah.
Pinewood.
Yeah, Pinewood. That's right. Exactly what I'm thinking about. I was wondering
Elstree,
whether it was
Pinewood,
actually filmed over there, and it had some British actors in this, so it might not have done, but I was just curious because
I mean, it's interesting. Sean Pertwee's been about, hasn't he?
I like Sean Pertwee.
I know, but I love Sean Pertwee. I think he's a great
He looks
actor.
just like he looks like his dad as well. If you dress him up, he does. He really does look like his dad, John Pertwee.
I loved him in Dog Soldiers, which is an old-time favourite of mine. Have you seen Dog Soldiers?
What's that? I've not heard of that one.
Have you not seen Dog Soldiers? It's a British one, made in early 2000s. An SAS squad, elite warriors, go up into the Scottish Islands hunting a werewolf.
Okay.
The mission's to catch one. They've been sent into this part of Scotland.
Wow.
And I mean, it's a gruesome film, but they all get massacred, like. And Sean Pertwee is like, you know, I don't want to give you any spoilers. Dog Soldiers, it's worth checking out. But it is, be prepared for the grossness of it.
Okay.
But the SAS British. You'll recognise some. They're all British stars, but they're this elite unit that goes. They've gone as for a biological weapon. They know about them.
Okay.
And they go hunt one down, but it says something much bigger. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but it's a superb film and it's British.
Do you like werewolf films generally?
I prefer. I can't.
Because I know you're quite into horror. This is exactly what I'm asking.
I don't mind like stuff like that. But when it comes to stuff like Chucky or is it Halloween? No, I don't mean Halloween. I'm on about the character and Michael Myers, Crystal Lake, all that. I just haven't got time for it because it's the same thing over and over again. And it's like the Freddy films. I'm not that. Just switch.
Yeah, but I mean, a werewolf film is a bit different. The reason I'm asking that is one film I'd like to review, maybe at Halloween, is An American Werewolf in London, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll book that.
That's a really good movie. That's why I was asking about werewolf films because that's a high bar for me.
I think it's because it's focused on the character and the creature more.
Yeah, rather than like
just somebody going
generic.
around.
Yeah, just stabbing people,
killing everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference. This is why I'm asking you that. That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's that, but I like certain vampire films, you know, it's which I don't have a problem with.
I watched an episode of Starsky and Hutch where they were chasing a vampire.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I watched it because of R.I.P. David Soul, by the way. I know
John
it's
Saxon, yeah.
But I'd watched it. I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought it was quite a good episode.
I have to say, I watched that about 4 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So but I'd not seen it before.
It came up on my recommended
I watched
list.
it.
I thought, what's this?
Yeah. I thought it was good.
Starsky and Hutch v Dracula.
I thought it was quite good, and he was going after all these women and everything, and it was like in a car park, and he kept
trying
running
to bring
away.
his wife back.
Yeah. That's right. There's like a painting of her or something, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I
like the scene where Hutch is chasing him, and he jumps
over a roof, and then he disappeared or something, doesn't it? And he can't make it too far.
They left little bits in there that weren't explained. You know what I mean? And Starsky starts
open.
believing it.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Brilliant.
I love those old shows, as you know. But like I said, sorry about David Soul, because he was a great actor. Sorry to hear that he just went and they're going. So
we'll have to cover. Have we done Salem's Lot yet?
I want to review that. I've got that. It's a 3-hour thing. Yeah, we'll put it on the list this year. Salem's Lot for David Soul.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, matey.
Yeah.
Well, look, we better wrap up. So let's finish off with this film. So any last comments before we do our rating of it?
No, that's it. That's it for me.
Do you think there should have been? Do you think there could have been some other sequel or something to tie into the? If it had been
no, I think it's a one-off story. That's enough.
One-off. Okay.
Yeah.
And would you like it to have maybe a little bit more of an influence or a link to Blade Runner, or do you think it's fine as it was?
Oh, definitely. No, I think there's enough in there. It leaves you thinking that way. Okay. It's an added extension to the bigger universe of Blade Runner.
All right, so I guess it's rating time then. What would you rate this out of 10?
I'm going to give it an 8, and I'm going to give it an 8. It's an old film, but it's stuck in my memory. And for me, I watched it recently, and it's definitely an 8. So.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 7 because it's a first reaction. I like to. Sometimes I need to see a film twice to really get a proper perspective. So, but I liked it. I didn't like it quite as much as you did, but I could see the appeal of it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's a good answer.
And this is the great thing about this. We don't. I mean, most of our episodes focus on well-known movies, but we do try to sneak in some stuff which isn't always the most mainstream. And then, like I said, hopefully people, if they watch this, they go, "Oh, let's give this a go and see what, get their own perspective." And that's what it's all about. All right, Martin. Now we're both going to shoot off. We've got things on, especially you your end. So we're going to let you go, Martin. Thank you very much. Next week we'll be on with Prometheus, which will be a really good one to review because we'll have a lot to say about that one. So, Martin, thank you very much. We'll see you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.